Hello, welcome to this new video. A common complaint about archaeological sites, ruins or rocks is that they all look the same. Some old stones spread onto a desolate place. Many people prefer modern things, as if lacking the imagination to wonder, or, most likely, not knowing what to look for.
Just you once, let me look at you. We should crash, see the days of school. You and I.
That is something I hope to help change with this video about the many types of Cyclopean walls, as illustrated by Italian sites.
We should die, we'll see, just take a look. In my edge, see darling the moon.
It is obviously not true that all the ruins are the same. Some are way more interesting than others, depending on many factors, many personal. And, in my view, a few of them old rocks are truly special.
Just let me
The special ones are the Cyclopean walls, the mind-boggling technique of 3D puzzling odd-shaped stones.
touch, killing me by shoot. Just in once, let me look at you.
That popped all around the ancient world as fast as it went into disuse, with ancient sources attributing the construction to many magical creatures. Cyclopes, Pelasgians, Incas, long ears, etc. To start with, what all Cyclopean walls have in common is an absence. They do not have mortar. And there lies one mystery. Mortar is an old invention that makes building so much easier. Thus, for not to use mortar, one needs to have a strong reasoning. The most probable, I think, is that Cyclopean walls were used for earthworks and subject to percolation, soil water, that would erode the mortar and then damage the structure.
Just let me
In engineering terms, Cyclopean walls are an absolute wonder. They are water resistant, earthquake resistant, pretty unique visually, but all of that came at a cost. Time. The vast amounts of planning and work required to achieve these wonders are very hard to grasp. Much easier would be to build with ashlar masonry, meaning squared and smaller blocks. As in this case of the Severian Wall in Rome. The result is not so impressive nor solid, but it's cheaper to build. The Romans, being a very practical people, always preferred mortar and similar shaped stones. Another thing the Romans had was iron, and Cyclopean masonry mysteriously disappeared in the Bronze Age. From Japan to Peru, in all of Europe, and everywhere else, these constructions are pre-iron. Iron makes cutting stones much faster and unskilled, so the builders will no longer have the time to master the 3D puzzles.
Let me look at you. We should cry. See the days of school.
Polygonal masonry is not for the short-term minded. It requires a long build-up of knowledge, detailed planning, and excruciating hard work.
You did right, shiny as a jewel. We should die. We'll see, just take a look.
It was built for the ages and survived for ages.
And sound, you're on my way.
In most places, Cyclopean walls are the oldest constructions on site, with everything else lost or destroyed.
Just let me
Finally, in terms of finishing, Cyclopean walls vary significantly, sometimes within the same locale, with different styles fitted side by side, revealing how the multiple techniques were very well understood.
Building me by shoot, just in once. Let me look at you. We should cry. Since the days.
With that, let's check on what to look for when admiring Cyclopean walls.
Just let me
The size of the stones for one. This is obvious. Larger stones require harder planning, harder work. In Italy, it's Pyrgi that shows off some of the biggest examples. Next comes fitting, ranging from tight to loose, or with the inclusion of smaller stones to save time on the assembly. Clearly, the tighter the fitting, the more impressive the result. The size of the fitting affects the slope. For the wall to be more vertical, the bigger and the well-fitted the stones have to be. And the depth of the stones is important to achieve a solid support. The fitting cannot be superficial, just on the surface. It should be fully 3D. Otherwise, the wall will slide and eventually collapse. The hardness of the stone also has to be taken into consideration. The Etruscans, an old people in Italy, used soft tuffo stone. That's why most of their buildings are now lost. Unlike the older than the Etruscan Cyclopean walls that prefer moderately to hard rocks and stand the passage of time. There's also the shape. The more facings, the bigger the difficulty to assemble, with Amelia being the most striking example.
Details you look like your touch, healing me by shoot, just in.
Finally, just on the surface, that's not so important, finishing can be quite distinct. Bulbous, rough, polished, and also with knobs, although those last ones I could not find in Italy.
You did the hook, you did right, shiny as a jewel. We should die, we'll see, just take a look.
Now that we've seen what to look for, in the next video we'll move on to investigate some other mysterious features. like the doors into the afterlife.
Just let me
Please subscribe to join in on our next one-night travel.